Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you, and I'm super excited about the subject matter for today. We're talking about whispers of a better life. That there is something that we can listen to, that we can lean into, that we can draw into, that can help us live our best life. How exciting is that? I'm excited as I just sit with that, think about that, lean into that. And what I've discovered about whispers is that they're quieter. So sometimes we have to slow down, be still, quiet, and open to hear that whisper, to hear that insight, to hear that pull that is calling us forward, empowering us on our journey, cheering us on, giving us direction, giving us clarity. So today, we have two amazing guests that are going to whisper into our hearts, into our spirits. They're going to share amazing tips and insights with us. They're going to share some of their journey and how they're impacting the world in a powerful way. And as they do that and they share, I want to invite you to listen to the pauses too. Give what they share a moment to sink in. Let it serve you. Let it support you. And then see what it sparks within you. What bubbles up. To be able to hear that still small voice, to be able to let that whisper land, it's so important that we mindfully, purposely pause. We take a breath. Breathing in all that serves and out, creating room and space for that wisdom and insight to come in, for that whisper to be heard, for a new perspective to be discovered. When we can remember to slow down, to be still, to be listening, actively listening, being still, leaning in with anticipation for all that is to come, it's amazing what you'll discover, what will bubble up, and what will come forth. To support you in this, I encourage you to keep taking those beautiful breaths. This time is for you, on purpose. Mindfully and purposely, we're connecting in. And when we connect in energetically, purposely, mindfully, it creates an amazing energy and space for so much to come forth. So I encourage you to enjoy this time. Allow us to pour into you. Be present, open, ready to receive everything that can serve. To support you in that, I invite you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Keep breathing. You're just taking a moment to kind of close everything out that can distract you and to really be present to what can serve. To support you, I encourage you to put both hands on your heart, noticing that heartbeat, and just see, as we're thinking about moving into your best life, what is it that you need? What is your heart sharing? What is it that you need today, real time, to support, empower, and encourage? Real time. Not someday, but today, what do you need? And just listen. Receive that information. If you're noticing that meow, that's Darla. Our studio cat. She is whispering her thoughts and insights. Not quite a whisper, but she's sharing. So it's a moment to lean in and whisper. See what's speaking to you. See what is whispering, coming closer, bubbling up. What is it that you need today that will empower, support, and encourage you? Beautiful. Let's take a breath. Come back to the room. Eyes open, fully present, and just see what came forward. Take a moment and write it down. Let's see what you've discovered, what you've been prompted to remember. And by writing it down, that helps bring it into reality. Instead of swirling around in you, sometimes pulling at you. When you write it down, you're able to interact with it and keep it top of mind. And that's going to be the extra credit bonus opportunity and challenge today. Let's keep that top of mind. There's a reason that bubbled up. Let's keep it top of mind during our time together today and have that paper ready to write down those insights that come forward in our conversation today. I'm so glad that each and every one of you are joining us today. With that, I'm going to go around our virtual room and have each of our guests just share when they took a moment to stop, pause, and listen. See what bubbled up for them and see how that sparks something within you. With that, Hannah, I would love to start with you.
Sure, Rebecca. It's interesting for me. What came up is the people who feel like light and sunshine in my life, to make sure that they are always close, always present, because they give me that space and that permission to be able to inspire and create things that make even more light in the world.
I love that. Really paying attention and noticing that, how beautiful, and being very deliberate about keeping them close. Very smart. Yeah. I love that. I love that. How about you, Desvina? What came to your heart and mind?
First of all, I needed that because I had such a busy day, and it's the end of the day for me here. It's nighttime. And you sort of took me into the journey of where I started with what I do way back years back, all the way to today. And my last thoughts landed at a little nest that I have outside my house right now with a newborn pigeon.
Oh, I like it.
Which I've been taking care of. I've been because there are all kinds of cats going around, and I'm also very afraid that it's going to fall off the nest, etc. And this morning it was missing, and I'm thinking, oh my God! And the nest was all messed up. And then I called my brother and said he's more knowledgeable than me about this, and he said, "Don't worry, his mother is going to take care of him." Him or her, I don't know. And later on, there it was again. So it was like this journey of up and down, and then I was just left with this image of this tiny little pigeon being saved, that everything was okay at the end of the day.
Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you for sharing. And I was afraid we were going to have a cliffhanger. So I'm glad everything is okay. How beautiful is that you get to see that? Oh, thank you for sharing. I'm sure Darla that must be what she was so excited about. Sharing. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. Just beautiful. Well, listeners, I'm so curious for you. What came up? What came forward? What did you notice? Was there a reflection of a journey you've gone on, or perhaps something you noticed around you in the animal kingdom, perhaps, that is speaking to you and sharing a powerful message? Does it have to do with those relationships or people around you that are bringing light into your world? And are you being deliberate about keeping them around you? See what comes forward as we go to our first commercial break. This is an opportunity for you to be present, to really receive everything that can serve, and notice what is speaking to you. What are you noticing? What are you discovering? What are you feeling? And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to really hear, listen, tune in to what is reaching out to you, what is speaking to you, what are you being reminded of, what are you being shown. I encourage you throughout our time together today, choose to be very, very present. Know that there is a reason you're here today, connecting in mindfully, purposely, and all around you, information, opportunities coming in to support you. So be open and excited to receive that. And have that paper and pen ready, as I reminded you in the beginning, so you don't miss those ahas or that quick note that kind of passes through your heart and spirit. By capturing it, you're able to help process it and keep it top of mind. So have that paper and pen ready. And I'm excited to introduce our first guest. She was sharing a little bit about her journey and the little baby pigeon in our opening segment. It had a happy ending, which I love. And let me just take a moment to introduce Despina to you. She is a clinical dietitian, psychologist, healthcare educator, and communication consultant for health professionals. She's an award-winning, multilingual international speaker and creator of the Work with Your Patient approach. She's absolutely passionate about the healing possibilities and properties around nutrients, how we can really have those empower us in powerful ways. So please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Despina Varakoulis to the show. Welcome.
Wow. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. Thank
Absolutely. You are so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us. And wanted to start the question or the conversation, I should say. One thing that you mentioned is that it was evening there. And so I know we have an international audience. So where are you tuning in from?
I am currently in Jerusalem.
Mm.
The holy city.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm here in the States, in California, just about an hour and a half outside of San Francisco. So I love that we can reach across isn't that?
Wow.
I love the power of technology and connection. So that's beautiful.
True. That's true.
Well, and I would love to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people in this way, really empowering them around nutrients and how those can really support them and their body in living their best life? Why is that work important to you?
Well, I must say, I grew up in a family which was very health conscious, in the sense that we were always close to nature and appreciating what nature gives us. From trees to water to air to the birds to, we have orchards. So we were always reminded to be thankful for all these things provided to us. And why should we be thankful? Because they are all there to support us, to provide to us. So everything is like made for us humans. The water and the air and the trees and the fruits and the vines, they're all for us. So we have to be very grateful that we have these things. So growing up, I always wanted to get involved in the health domain. And then when I got into nutrition, this was really, I studied in the U.S., I lived in the U.S., I worked there as well. But I moved around and I realized how the different people and the different cultures around the world perceived food, from planting it to approaching it to cooking it to eating it. So it was very important for me to sort of be the speaker for these things. I have to speak on behalf of the fruit, on behalf of the water, on behalf of the vine. I have to give it a voice of what is its position in all of this. How does it perceive us?
I love it. And is there a common theme as you stand in that place, as that voice to share the message and wisdom and insight? Is there a common message? I love the one that it is here. They are here for us to support us. Is there another common theme or message that you find you are sharing on their behalf?
Yes. This may sound harsh. Don't hurt me anymore. It's we've sort of gone from using it to using it in a bad sense, to taking advantage of it. It's there for us, open-handed for us to take and to use. So let's not abuse it. So
wonderful. No, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, because as someone who is standing in that place as a messenger, I always think it's wise for us to listen to the message and to take that in. And I'm curious in the work that you do in helping individuals around their nutrition and health and those types of things. What is different about your approach or unique in how you work with people?
What I do is I always come down to what I call the unique diagnosis. When I interview people and they come in for advice, every single person is unique. So they have a unique diagnosis. It cannot be that there are two people on planet Earth that have a similar diagnosis. And so far, we've been taught and we've been practicing okay, so there's one individual who's obese, another person who's obese, or one person with diabetes, another person with diabetes. And that's not fair because every person is unique. So it's not what the diagnosis is not limited to the ailment or to what brought them in to see us. The diagnosis is a lot broader than that. So I cannot look at X, for example, let's call a person Helen. I cannot look at Helen as Helen, the person with diabetes. I want to see Helen with her likes and dislikes. I want to see her as a person. What does she do in her life? Because the fact that they have, or that we're all patients, that we all have some type of ailment is the result of this complex thing of our psyche and our personality, and it all brings down, and a lot of people, ail and acquire some ailment because of who they are. Mm-hmm. So we have to know that. We have to get to that. So the first session has this specific purpose, to come down to this unique diagnosis. And then the work starts from there. And beautiful. That this is how therapy would continue.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, and that reminder that we are all so very unique.
Yeah.
And I love that in your work, that's where you're starting at that place and then building a plan forward, a path forward, correct, really designed around who they are, what they're dealing with, what their life is like, what their likes are, dislikes, how refreshing that is to know that that's taken into consideration in the process. I think that's really powerful. And so one of the questions that you gave me that I knew you were open to talking about is how many of us today struggle with either a health issue or a weight issue, but you actually feel there's a silver lining in that. Do you mind sharing what that is? Because I don't think that's right where we go when we're struggling with something. So can you share what is the silver lining in that?
Well, first of all, we need to understand that changing a situation or improving something does not need to be a pressuring situation. When we come in with whether it's, we have extra weight or we have something that needs nutritional management, there's a reason why it happened. So if we take, for example, a person who's overweight, we don't wake up one day and say, okay, what am I going to do this morning? Oh, I know. I'm going to start eating more. Nobody does that. That just does not happen. There is a reason why things change in our lives. There is a reason why I gained weight. There is a reason why I'm not losing weight. So this is the silver lining. I mean, once we come to that and we understand the unique diagnosis, which, by the way, unique diagnosis sheds the light on the real reasons, on the real causes behind what is it that affects and brought this result, then this is very powerful for both me and the person coming in so that we can move on and, find how we can solve the issue. And this is the silver lining for me. Once I reach this unique diagnosis, I feel so empowered that, okay, I got it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Understanding that I can see being so empowering because it can feel mysterious and like you're out of control when those things are happening and you don't know why. To be able to get to that and understand it can create such shifts and be putting that individual back into the center, back into a powerful position. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, you have a final thought or tip that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, when you walk into your health professional's office, make sure that you show them your entire self. Don't get limited to what you think they want to hear.
Nice.
They're going to ask their questions to get what they want to hear, but there's a lot more that they need to hear, and that will come from you. They're not going to ask for it. So make sure you give it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Very empowering. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Well, listeners, we are getting ready for our next commercial break, and I want to invite you to take this time to really think about some of what Despina has shared. See what's speaking to you. Perhaps you are struggling with a health type of issue. I think this is a great thing before you go see your healthcare provider to kind of put some notes down of everything you want to share so they get to see all of you, not just part of you, that you get to be an active part of that conversation and seeking to move things forward that you're looking to move forward. So I think that's beautiful, and really see what is whispering to you to step into that better life. So reflect on the conversation, enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on Twitter. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com, and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. We were talking during the break for a moment, and Hannah was welcoming Darla back if she decided to join us. So we'll stay tuned and see if Darla decides she wants to add to our conversation. But I was thinking about how important it is that we really stand in our power, that we stand in our truth, and that we're open to these insights and directions that can help us be more of who we are. And one of the things I love about our next author is our author and speaker and guest, she's so many things, is that she really stands for helping authors find their voices and really bring their insights forward. And even in her own writing, she specializes in bringing forward things to reflect on, things to perhaps even wrestle with a little bit, to stand in our truth, to stand in our power, that we have so many choices we can make in our life. And I really appreciate how Hannah is so open for holding space for others and helping them grow and live their best life. And I know in her work, you will hear whispers that speak to you and empower you. Let me share a little bit more formally about Hannah. So Hannah is a best-selling author and speaker who's worked in the writing industry for 7 years. She's an executive editor and retreat coordinator for Your Inspired Story. She works with authors, helping them find their voices. And in her fiction series, she explores struggles and triumphs of reality. She is passionate about you finding your voice and sharing your message. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic and creative Hannah Lyon to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. This is a treat.
You are so welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I know this is an especially busy time for you right now. We'll get into that in a moment, why this is a particularly busy time for you. So I'm really grateful that you were able to lean in and create this time for us today to have the conversation. So I'd love to start with why. Why is this work and the writing space and all the different ways you touch that world, why is that work personally so important to you?
To me, it's extremely powerful because storytelling has kind of shaped who we are as people and how we live our lives since the beginning of time. And that's true, I think, regardless of genre. If you're looking at fiction that I write, or if you're looking at nonfiction of the books I mostly work on and edit and help my authors with, there's just a power and a vulnerability in storytelling. And when I get to see people and how they decide to either share themselves through their own story or through a world they're creating, that really gives us space to breathe and to educate and inspire people in this world.
And how powerful is that to lean in and touch people in so many different ways? I love that. They're giving them room to breathe and explore and grow, own their voice, and then create that ripple out into the world. I love that. And you mentioned even the world they create. And I know that's something that you have been able to do in your series. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your upcoming book, the title of it, when it's coming out, and why you're excited about it, what you're hoping it does.
Sure. This is the debut novel of my own. I've been helping authors for many years with their own stories, but this is the first story of my own that I'm sharing that I've been working on my whole life. And the first book in the series is called The Rebel in Violet. And it's all about a kingdom that's on the verge of rebellion, but its people really don't know who to trust. And it's all about being able to crack open and shed light on things that are normally kept in the dark, breaking out of the norm and forcing yourself to answer a lot of questions about what it really means to be truly free. So I will be sharing that with the world on June 13th.
Yay! I was feeling like I almost needed a drum roll, but I didn't want to interrupt. It was so powerful what you were sharing. June 13th, it's going to be released out into the world. That's why I know it's an especially busy time right now. It's all the final pieces come together to bring this to the world. I know we're very excited about it. I had the opportunity to read it, and listeners, I was captivated in this world and stretched and explored things. And I can't wait for the next one in the series. So I know it's something that many of you will enjoy and be touched by. So I really encourage you to put June 13th on the calendar. I know there's a special rate of $1.99 for the first 24 hours if you are able to lean in and take advantage of that. So make sure to put that date on your calendar. We'll be posting and sharing it out in the world so that you can certainly lean in and get a copy. I know you'll really be served by that. Anything you would like to add? Is there something you're especially excited about it, or the cover, or something they should look for?
My favorite part, actually, of being able to polish this book and share this book in its best form at the perfect time right now is the Audible version. And I know that there are so many people out there who love to listen to their stories, and it is just how they're able to find the time to be able to still read. And I was able to find the most perfect talent to capture every character I've built, because when you're reading fantasy, you're usually diving into something that has lots of characters, and they range across, all different ages and backgrounds and moral compasses, and you want somebody to be able to embody that for all those who love to listen to books. So when that Audible version comes out very soon, I know that will make a lot of people, a lot of fantasy fans, very happy.
Well, I'm excited all the different formats that you're bringing it out in. So listeners, every way you love to enjoy a book, you'll have available to you, which is just wonderful. Well, I also know that you were one of the things I know about you is that you are very strategic and mindful and deliberate in choosing dates and times from when the book is released to even when you selected to do your interview, you chose today. And I'd love for you to share why today was the day for your interview.
I'm so glad you said that, Rebecca, because in my world, in my very nerdy community, May the 4th is actually a holiday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Star Wars Day. Yeah, for May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And it is just a day to celebrate something that is kind of a universal theme. And one of the reasons why I just mention it is that there's this easily recognizable theme of freedom that ranges throughout the world that Lucas has created. And it really inspired me when I first started diving into my own world building and my own journey into the makings of what a successful fantasy realm could look like. And that theme of rebellion against an evil empire, it's just this huge universal piece that I know a lot of people can connect with. So I've been asking myself the question for a long time, how much of yourself do you have to put at risk in order to be truly free? What does that mean to you? What do you have to sacrifice? How do you choose to fight for that? And I know that no matter what kind of books you read, that's got to be a question that a lot of people will ask, and it will likely resonate with them.
Thank you for sharing that, and happy May 4th to you and all the fans. I love that we get to share that day, and May the 4th be with you. That's beautiful. And that common theme of what are you willing to risk and to stand for and rebel against, to really fully step into that freedom, into that power. And I think that's a really important question to reflect on and lean into as we're looking to lean into our best life. And what are those resources that we are allowing to pour into us? And I love that you're creating a resource in this fantasy space to support us in that journey in so many different, from Kindle to print to Audible, to support us on the journey. So I'm excited about that. Well, I'm also curious, as we lean into this world you have created in your fantasy series, what sort of challenges do your characters face?
Well, my favorite part about fantasy is the challenges that are faced in it are often challenges that we are also facing in our real lives, just kind of mirrored in a different world. And that means that people are struggling with physical battles, they're struggling with mental challenges like addiction, different pieces of childhood trauma, even religious challenges can be a big theme in my writing as well, where you have to question your faith, where you have to figure out if what you were taught as a child is something that you still want to resonate with as an adult. And even those moral challenges I mentioned a little bit earlier, that's something that a lot of my characters face, where you have to be careful when you are fighting for your freedom that you don't cross that line, right, into behaving as badly as the people that you say you're fighting against. It's really hard to find that distinction between good and evil, black and white. And I know that something that fascinates a lot of fantasy readers right now are these gray characters. Because, every so often you cross that line when you shouldn't. And there's also the opposite of that, where you end up being a little too self-righteous. And those are things that we all kind of can mirror in our own lives. And that reflection of reality within fantasy is really where all of the magic comes in.
I love that. And I love, you mentioned earlier about the different moral compasses and now the gray characters. Like already, I hope people are leaning in and thinking about books they have read and the opportunity they have in leaning into your series, and that there's so much depth that can be explored both in the book series as well as in our own lives that will be touched as we lean in. So I love that. So I'm curious, because you write both fiction and help people write nonfiction. You play in both worlds, which is unusual. There aren't many people that play well in both as you do. And I'm curious, what is your favorite part about the magic of fiction writing, and in particular fantasy, because that's where you've been called?
Yes. Yeah, I love that question because to me, when you open a fantasy book, you're learning about our world through somebody else's creation, but at the same time, you're also learning all about that author's soul at the same time. It's just kind of woven into all of these different things that they're building, like different races, different magic systems, different political schemes, different kingdoms that they make. You're able to see pieces of that author, the good parts, the bad parts, all of that within their world building. And there's just something really special about that power of make-believe that we teach our kids, and how that can really grow and evolve into a way that you can cope with life struggles as an adult. So I found all of that inspiration in my youth. The answers I was looking for, that all originated in fiction books and movies. And of course, that includes Lucas's world and Tolkien's world and Rowling's world. I know there's a lot of people out there who can really find the space to triumph when they see a hero triumph. And I love being able to bring a new, unique way to look at freedom through my story and what I get to share with the world very soon.
Thank you for sharing. And I have two thoughts as I sink into what you shared. So on one side, this willingness to reveal so much of yourself and all the different characters, the vulnerability and the willingness to show all those parts. Because I think sometimes we want to show like the shiny parts. We don't want to necessarily show all the parts. And yet to create that range, it takes showing all the parts. So I just applaud you for that, and I thank you for that. And it shifts my perspective a little bit as I read fantasy books to remember that trust, that openness that's being given to me, that gift by the author. So that just struck me really deeply. And then secondly, that in this world, we get to explore and learn about ourselves too. So it creates that vulnerability, and opening up also creates that opportunity for the reader. So I just love that willingness that you have and that gift to open up and create a place for us to share your world with us. Anything you would add to that?
I would add that it would be very smart for all of my readers to question everything, to make sure that they crack open everything they've been ever told. You can discover a lot of lies you might have been told, lies that leaders in your life may have told you, things that you may willingly be stuck in but are not quite aware of because no one has given you the opportunity or the permission to think you're worthy of asking those questions. That's something I love to explore in my writing, and I love to make sure my readers are aware of it is okay, and you have the right to be able to ask what you think is best for yourself and how you can set yourself free.
And step into that freedom for yourself too. with truth. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Hannah. I so appreciate it. And now I know what May 4th is about. So I can add that to my calendar, as well as June 13th with your book coming out. We're very excited. The digital format will be available on June 13th at that special rate. So I just want to encourage everyone to put that on their calendar. We'll be watching and sharing that as well. And we are going to our next commercial break. And so listeners, remember, that's 2 minutes for you, an opportunity to really sink into some of what Hannah has shared. I encourage you, look back at your paper where you wrote at the beginning of our conversation what was on your heart. See how that has shifted, expanded, has been added to support you. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you have a paper full of notes, insights, things that are speaking to your heart. I hope that you have also included June 13th on the notes, that you can lean into Hannah's beautiful book and add this to your library. I know that you will definitely enjoy that. And there's another book that is also coming to my heart and spirit that I think can support us as we look to lean into our best self. It's by Patrick Rumerfield, and it's Green Bananas. It's called Green Bananas, the Patrick Rumerfield story. And this book is launching today, and you can lean in and take advantage of it for the special rate of $1.99. And this particular book, the author was in a serious car accident. He was a race car driver and paralyzed from the neck down as a young man and was given 72 hours to live. As he went through time, he discovered and worked really hard to regain the use of his limbs. And 17, 20 years later, it's been many, many years later, he now is traveling around the world setting records on triathlons and marathons, world records. And his message is to never give up. Never, ever give up. You can achieve with hard work and perseverance, and claim that. And that just resonated with me as we were talking about freedom, stepping into our best self. And I think this is a powerful resource that could support you. And when I discovered that it was available for a special rate, because I love a deal if I can get a deal, I wanted to make sure you all knew about it so you continue to have resources to support you on your journey. And with that, I'm going to go around our virtual room and have each of our guests share how to connect with them, how to go deeper. And this is very purposeful because these connections can be resources to pour into you and to support you on your journey. So lean into them. I encourage you to write this information down. I want you to stay connected and be poured into and lean into everything that can help you bring yourself forward. Claim your best self, your better life. Really listen to those connections and whispers that can support you. So with that, Despina, share with us the best way to connect and go deeper.
The best way to connect with me, to contact me, would be through my website, which is my name, despinavaraclas.com. You will find all my contacts there, and you can message me through there. But I would appreciate it if people would log into my 2 Facebook pages. The one is Nutrition and Health Management, and the other is the WIP Approach for Patient Motivation, WIP, WWYP. And this shows more of my work. I have all kinds of videos that they can see both on the pages and the website. And I would love to connect with whoever really wants to connect.
Wonderful.
And I don't know, can we offer a gift?
I love gifts. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I thought that for the next 4 weeks, 1 month from today, I'm offering a free initial consultation for whoever, contacts and says, that they've been on the Rebecca Hall, or, they've been listening in and they heard the this show. So it's a free 30 to 45 even minute consultation so that we can reach the unique diagnosis of that individual, so they know what it is that they need to focus on in order to move forward with their health and nutrition.
What a generous gift.
More than happy to give it.
Thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate that. And then, Hannah, I would love for you to lean in and share the best way for us to connect with you. If there's any way we can stay in the loop with all the different formats of your book coming out, we'd love to know all of those things.
Yes. Well, any of my fantasy lovers can find me on Facebook or Instagram, and that is the same tag, which would be Lady Lion 19, and that's Lion, Lyon. And my website for my book is freedomforrazos.com. And if anyone is interested in the comprehensive editing skills that I have that help both fiction and nonfiction authors all over the world, you can find me at castlelionediting.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We're excited about your upcoming book. I have it on my calendar, and we'll be leaning in and sharing that out. Thank you again for joining us. Listeners, thank you for leaning in and being part of our conversation today. And for those of you who are interested in perhaps being a guest on our show, or you're looking at reaching more people with your message, I wanted to let you know about an additional resource that could support you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. You can find it at speakertalentsearch.com, and it's part of our Give Back. And it's part of how we help experts, leaders, messengers, speakers get on more platforms and stages so they can impact the world, be seen and heard, and shine their messages out. So I hope that serves you. I encourage you to lean in, pay attention to the dates because it is date sensitive. So speakertalentsearch.com. And all of our beautiful listeners today, thank you for joining us. I invite you to take a minute or two at the end of the show, reflect back on the conversation, and mindfully, purposely choose how you're stepping back into the day. The day doesn't get to be in charge. You are. You get to choose those next steps, what you're doing, what they are, and how you're showing up. I hope that you choose to share more of the gift of you, that you choose to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.